Hello fans and friends across the universe, welcome to my YouTube channel From Me to You. My name's Keir Smith. For today's video I thought I'd show you a few Beatles buys that I've picked up over the last few months while I've been doing the rounds, unaccustomed as I am. I've picked up 8 7-inch records, 5 12-inch records, a CD and a toy, and I'll take you through them now. First up is a 7-inch record, Paul McCartney, All My Trials, backed with Sea Moon. And this was released to coincide with the release of the Tripping the Live Fantastic album from 1990. Next, a couple of 7-inch records by John Lennon that I picked up at a music fair just yesterday, and this is Love, backed with Give Me Some Truth, and this was released to coincide with the release of the John Lennon collection that was released in 1982. And Living on Borrowed Time, backed with Your Hands, the Yoko song, both released on the Milk and Honey album. And from eBay for around about £5 or £6 I picked up the Mind Games single, which I was pleased to get my hands on. This is backed with Meat City, both of which appear on John's Mind Games album. And at a car boot sale in Nottingham, I think in America you guys call it a flea market, I picked up the Only You single backed with Call Me, both of which appear on Ringo's Goodnight Vienna album. To be honest, I thought I'd already got this, but it turns out that I hadn't, so I was really pleased with that, just 50p as well. And I thought that this next record was relatively interesting. This is the Beatles movie medley. This was released in 1978, and one side of the record contains excerpts from songs from the films. So we get Magical Mystery Tour from Magical Mystery Tour, All You Need Is Love from Yellow Submarine, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away from Help, I Should Have Known Better and A Hard Day's Night from A Hard Day's Night, Ticket to Ride from Help, and Get Back from the film Let It Be. And then on the flip side, the B side, we've got I'm Happy Just to Dance With You, which of course is from the Hard Day's Night film. So I'll show you that. That's the side with the excerpts from the film. And I'm Happy Just to Dance With You on the flip side. And from the music fair that I went to yesterday, this caught my eye. This was £10. I managed to haggle the dealer down to £8. This is the title track from Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with a little help from my friends, and it's backed with A Day in the Life. As you can see, it's on the Parlophone label and with A Day in the Life. And lastly, for the 7-inch singles, one of my favourite McCartney songs, although I do prefer the album version more so. This is Pretty Little Head from the much maligned but criminally underrated Press to Play album, a co-write with Eric Stewart, as is the flip side, Right Away, another really good song. Onto the 12-inch records, I picked up Ringo's Stop and Smell the Roses album, and this is a good album. I quite enjoy it. It's got good songwriting contributions from George with Rack My Brain, which I love, from Paul with Attention and Private Property, Ronnie Wood with Dead Giveaway, but I love that cover version of You Belong to Me. And I picked up this album by Yoko from 1982 called It's Alright, I See Rainbows, and it's got the ghostly figure of John on the back, Yoko with Sean. And I was really pleased to find this for just £3. This is Once Upon a Long Ago, a 12-inch single, the extended version with Back on My Feet with it, and on the B-side we've got a couple of the rock and roll covers, Lordy Miss Claudie and Kansas City. And again, for just £2 or £3, I picked up the 12-inch version of Julian Lennon's Saltwater single, and this is backed with Rebel King, both of which appear on his Help Yourself album, and also Creo que voy a llorar, Saltwater in brackets. I'm yet to listen to that, so I assume it's a different version of Saltwater. And as soon as I saw this next record, I had to pick it up. This is The Ruttles, and I'll read you the liner notes off the back of it. The Ruttles story is a legend, a living legend, a legend that will live a lifetime, long after lots of other living legends have died. The Warner Brothers, Stan and Reg, are proud to present this tribute to the semi-legendary group who made the 60s what they are today, the Prefab Four: Dirk, Nasty, Stig and Barry. And I'll show you some of the pictures here inside of the record. All You Need Is Cash, Ruttlemania, as it takes you through the story of the Ruttles. We've got A Hard Day's Rut and Tragical History Tour. Just good fun. If you don't know these songs, you should acquaint yourselves with them. They're a bit of a Mickey take, but good fun and very Beatlesque. Very well done. Onto the CD, and I picked this up as part of 5 CDs for £1 from a charity shop, and I didn't know that this CD existed, so I would have easily paid up to a £5 for this alone. This is the early works of George Martin. It's 32 tracks, and on the first disc it starts with Love Me Do, and on the second disc it ends with PS I Love You. And in between there's 30 other songs. In the liner notes it says, "This compilation begins each disc with a side of the Beatles' debut parlophone single from 1962, Love Me Do, PS I Love You." Then backtracks to examine Martin's history to that date. It encompasses many strands of British popular music in the 50s and early 60s, providing a picture of the music scene the Beatles and those who followed would transform completely, with a little help from their friend. And for my final item, my Beatles toy, I picked this up at a car boot sale the other week for just £2, and again, I didn't know that this type of thing existed, but I shouldn't have been too surprised. This is a Hot Wheels car based on the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, and I'm really pleased because, as you can see, it's still in its box, it's still sealed, and that's how it will remain. So there you go, they were my Beatles finds, my Beatles purchases over the last few months. Nothing too spectacular, but I'm always trying to fill in blanks in my collection, and if I haven't got it and I see it and it's relatively cheap, I'll pick it up. And no doubt I'll do another video in a couple of months' time showing you what I've picked up since this lot, because I'm a Beatles obsessive. Anyhow, that's all for now. I hope everyone's well and doing good. Thanks as always for watching. See you next time.